It stings a bit when she leaves. It's like the room suddenly became a few shades dimmer. You inspect the kitchen, hoping to find something to drink. Nothing, no regular food either. Feels strange that Cordelia could be more thoughtful host than your new sire. Even if only in that respect. You briefly wonder if the sheriff might have a hidden side. But nothing left to do. You lie on the couch with the TV playing in the background for company. Columbo reruns. Kojak reruns. President of the United States got himself into serious trouble again. Pundits start yelling over each other about things that seem a little bit less insignificant just 2 days ago. You start drifting off, reflecting about another night of confusing conversations and worldview-shattering revelations. How many before you finally understand what happened to you and what you're supposed to do now? You keep coming back to the life you left behind. The people you should contact, the things you want to pick up from your apartment. You wonder when you have the chance for either. As you start to feel the same tiredness that made you drift into a cold sleep last night, you settle in the back room. The bed is comforting. The lack of windows less so. You leave the light bulb on. Looking at it, you realize this is the closest you'll ever come to staring at the sun on a breezy summer day again. A wave of melancholy overwhelms you. A few minutes later, your consciousness fades and you take the plunge into the darkness again, sinking, 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 sinking. It's like we can't do anything about it. We'll have to rest for now. Hunger lies at the heart of a vampire existence. To ignore it is to tame the beast, to take over your actions in its desire to feed. To overindulge in feeding may threaten the masquerade as well as staining what humanity you have left. In Coteries of New York, having high hunger is indicated by a progressively bigger bloody frame around the screen, like the one you see now. Okay, you mean this one right here. As your hunger grows, so does this indicator. Your hunger may increase when you call upon your vampiric powers or when you need to man your own after a fight. When your hunger reaches the maximum amount, you will receive a warning after you complete a piece of the story. Ignore it at your own peril. Some choice might only become visible if your hunger is high enough. Similarly, a high hunger may block off some choice, as you will be able to see after pressing continue. Okay. To decrease the hunger, you need to feed. Whenever you see a feeding opportunity, you can take the risk to hunt and slake your hunger. You need to keep the hunger at bay if you are to uphold the masquerade and survive the nights that await you. You open your eyes. The bed isn't warm. The room is filled with artificial light from the ceiling. Solid metal doors closed. Normally, you would stretch for a bit. On some mornings, you would probably throw the quilt over yourself and snooze a moment longer. But that was before. The way you woke up now, you're fully conscious. No grogginess. Nothing weighing you down, just the nagging need in the back of your head. Hunger. Not as severe as the last time, but unmistakably there. You get up and open the door to the main room. A digital clock on the TV shows you the time, 9:04 p.m. You walk over to the blinds and retract them cautiously. The only light coming in is the NYC's artificial nighttime luminescence. So that's what your waking hours are going to look like now. You miss the sunlight already. You are seriously considering just walking out of the apartment and figuring this all out by yourself, but then you come back to the memory of quite an exotic sport being raised in the gallery. Maybe sticking around isn't that bad of an idea after all. You keep jumping channels for around half an hour and then switch your streaming service. Almost as if the universe had a sense of irony. You catch True Blood in the flood of recommendations. The doorbell rings. It is Sophie. Good evening, Sarah Kimi. Slept well? It's not exactly sleep, right? It's not really like normal sleep, is it? I suppose it isn't. Some say it's more like being dead, but we wouldn't know, would we? There's no use reflecting on it anyway. Except that this is who you are now. You made the right choice yesterday. I can teach you many things about yourself, your blood, its desires, and its power. We will begin tonight. You're hungry, yes? I'm sure you are. Our kind always is. There's only one remedy, the blood. The drinks we had yesterday at the Siam are not the usual way you slake your thirst. So tonight, I will assist you into your first foray. I will assist in your first array into hunting. You need to learn to sense the kind of blood you desire, to understand how you can use the kind's vulnerabilities to your advantage. I'm ready to learn. Let's get started. Such eagerness. Or is it just your hunger making you impatient? You'll find that drinking moderate amounts of it regularly will keep the hunger and the whispers of the beast away. You might think yourself monstrous, but there's a balance to be found here. The kiss gives the kind pleasure. You might remember this from your own embrace. Some can even become addicted to the sensation. But if you do it right, they tend to misremember your feeding. After all, vampires do not exist as myths, fairy tales, and pop culture mainstays, correct? She gives you a sly, snowy smile. That is why the masquerade is so important, and even more crucial when you feed. How do you avoid being seen while feeding? You isolate your prey, or you choose the right circumstance. People tend to avert their gaze when they see a couple intertwined in public. Love bites are easy to explain away. Some of us keep ruling herds, or even just individual kind who desire the kiss. That comes at a higher risk these days, though, so I would not recommend it to a young kindred like yourself. Feeding from the same area repeatedly can be dangerous, but by branching out, you risk the eye of other kindred on whose domains you trespass. Lucky for you, NYC is more forgiving in this regard. New York is in somewhat of a unique position. Many of its neighborhoods remain contested unclaimed. The reason for this is a lesson for another time, but keep the following in mind. Take opportunities to feed when they present themselves these upcoming nights. As long as you hunt cautiously and respect the masquerade at all times, you should be fine. To wit, I want you to join me for a trip tonight. Come downstairs. Gregory is waiting for us. The busy street fills the air with traffic noise, pedestrian chatter, and a mix of smells that disorient you momentarily. These warm bodies contain what you want, what you need. You catch yourself. Do you really just think of these people as mere source of blood? It takes a nudge from Sophie to break your train of thought. Her driver opens the door for her, and then tips his hat to you, gesturing to the back of the car. The car casually joins the somewhat thin New York traffic. It is still busy in a way only one of the biggest cities in the world can be, but compared to the daytime commute, it's a pleasant drive. You barely have the time to gather your thoughts and formulate new questions before the car comes to a stop. You are among the tall skyscrapers that make up Manhattan's iconic skyline. Come, Sarah Kimmy. Park the car correctly, will you? The driver just nods, and Sophie gets out. You join her, and the two of you walk through the glass door together, then take the elevator up. You first notice an empty stage with the instruments of a string quartet still in the back, then take in the few dozen chairs in front of it. The concert seeming concluded. The patrons, all smartly dressed and posh, have spread out all over the hall. Sophie strides confidently inside, produces an invitation of hers that she flashed in front of a security guard. You follow close and are let through without issue. Let's start easy. A social setting like this one would usually prove quite challenging to an inexperienced candidate. But consider this evening a small gift from your patron. I'm hoping to procure for you a willing vessel. Just remember what I told you about taking small sips. This one I have a soft spot for. Don't damage her. Now let's see here. Ah, there he is. She noticed somebody in the crowd flash a heart-melting smile. And suddenly even you feel drawn to her. You haven't thought about it before, but it's laid clear before you in this moment. Sophie is beautiful. Just looking at her is a privilege. Just being with her makes you feel elated. Everybody in the crowd, but especially the man who's almost tripping over himself to reach her, clearly agrees. Edgar, I'm so happy to see you. How's your daughter? Is she with you? Oh, there she is. Julie, my girl, come over, please. There's somebody I would like you to meet. The young woman who walks across the hall can't be more than 19 years old. It's clear from her mismatched earrings and the partially faded purple hair dye that she doesn't fit this crowd. Julie, this is Sarah Kimmy. I think the two of you should get acquainted while I talk business with your dad. Awfully boring stuff, I assure you. I'm positive you'll like each other. The girl gives you a sharp smile and nods towards the balcony stairs. You follow, somewhat unsure what it is exactly Sophie expects you to do. You reach a secluded space from which the entire lobby is visible. All eyes on Sophie. They listen intently, then laugh when she does. Julie saves you the trouble figuring out the next step. If you're with Sophie, then I guess you are, you know. She puts her wrist to her lips and gives herself a theatrical nip, then looks to you embarrassed, but also hopeful. Yeah, I do. Yes, I do. She takes off her jacket, unbuttons her sleeve, then rolls it up. You see a tattooed by cat in an astronaut suit, one feline eye winking at you. There, just enjoy. A perfectly awkward smile and a blush bring from Julie. You take her forearm in your hands. A quick look around confirms nobody's watching and no security cameras cover this area. You back down gently. It is surreal. She has just given you her blood of her own volition. How is this possible? What about the masquerade? You need to ask Sophie. The thought disappeared amid the bliss. There's just the taste, sweet, fresh, sanguine. You drink, and drink, and drink. No, stop. Stay away from the girl harder than you want. Still, the bite leaves just tiny punctures. Almost as if by instinct, you lick them clean. And the two holes become concealed just like that. Julie is now leaning on the wall, pale, wobbly on her feet, but happy. She lets out a dreamy sigh, open her eyes. A few tears fall onto her shirt, tears of joy. Thank you. Please, can you walk me downstairs? Please. My dad, he doesn't know. Think it's a condition. Miss Langley told him so. She leans on you and requests you walk her over to a bench. She takes a seat and smiles at you. The crowd around Sophie disperses slowly. Yeah. Looking at her now, only some wretched do all hangs in the ends. Yes, she's pretty, maybe even beautiful, but sure, she's not the type. What came over you before? You walk over to her. Edgar, dear, it was splendid talking to you. We need to get going. Give Julie my best wish. Come, Sarah. Gregory is waiting for you out front. It's only in the car that Sophie addressed you. I can tell from your look that you took the opportunity. Good for you. That girl is exquisite, don't you think? You wouldn't tell by her demeanor, but she has so much passion. It brings out a unique bouquet in her blood. She knows who we are. I think she knows who we are. That's not normal, right? It's not usual. That much is true. But don't worry, she'll do anything I tell her to. And won't say anything to anyone that I haven't put in her pretty head first. Time for the next stop. Training wheels off this time. Gregory, Flushing Meadows, please. The driver takes the car over the Williamsburg Bridge. You settle your thoughts. What did you do to the people back there? Those people back at the hall, they were all in trance. Even I was under your spell. What was that? She smiles with satisfaction. That old trick, just your blood doing my bidding. We all have our talents. Some of them come from the galaxy we inherit from our sire. Others can be learned with experience. I can sway people or make them fear me. I see more of the world, and in greater detail than some kindred. I can will my body to move with unparalleled precision and grace, and more. All of these skills make me who I am. They also help me hunt. What are my powers? Okay, so what are my talents? Time will tell. You need to discover them yourself. When we arrive, experiment. Give different things a try. Follow your instinct and intuition. It'll guide the blood. Always keeps the masquerade in mind, however. It's all fine if you can disappear in plain sight or command animals with your mind, but save those overt talents for the right place and time. It only takes you half an hour to reach the park this time of night. Both you and Sophie leave the car, with Gregory left behind again, to find a parking spot and keep an eye on the car. Sophie seems deep in thought. She takes in the surroundings with a dreamy gaze, whatever. The sky is surprisingly clear tonight. The stars just barely visible in the light-polluted aura of the city. I feel like having a snack myself. I'll be by the fountain. Go look for somebody to your liking. See what effects you can achieve with your blood, but I will pick one victim, just one, then come back. Seeing how she seems not altogether right now, you decide to leave Sophie to her own device and seek out your prey. From here, it looks like you have a few choices. Just taking a stroll around the park and finding an isolated jogger or someone could work, but focusing on one area might work better. The New York State Pavilion might work at a secluded spot. There's a skate park nearby, and worst case scenario, there's bound to be some unfortunate wino around. Or maybe the tennis court nearby. There's light coming from there, so somebody might still be playing a late night match. They won't be alone, but they might be tired and let the guard down. As these scenarios play out in your mind, you realize you're planning how to assault a stranger in the middle of the night. It's a weird way to be, but the now familiar hunger prompts you to act. Take a walk with on feet. Search for a victim around the park. Hunt the prey near the decrepit pavilion. Look for the prey at the tennis court. Take a walk but don't feed. Nah. I think I'll hunt near the decrepit pavilion. You make your way to one of the park's most well-known landmarks, the round skeleton, the New York State Pavilion, with its two vaguely futuristic-looking towers. You don't get lucky with the skate park. It's not deserted. Instead, a group of skaters gather there, talking loudly and listening to music playing out of crackling smartphone speakers. Deciding to have a quick look around, you identify a potential victim, a sleeping back lady, leaned back on the bench, a shopping cart full of what looks like trash nearby. One of these might be the right opportunity to take feed on the sleeping back lady. You creep closer to the filthy smelling lady on the bench, Her body is barely visible from the multiplayers of rare, mismatched garments. She's not a glamorous target, but it seems safe and safe will have to do tonight. The scent of alcohol mixed with her nasty body odor. You try to ignore it, seeking the warmth of her blood and the promise it keeps. She doesn't get to open her eyes before you strike. Biting her exposed neck, you're struck by melancholy. It's not that you feel guilty about targeting her, though. That too, but there's an unexpected surge of empathy the taste of her blood provokes. She's probably alone in this city, lost and abandoned by this country social system, forced to drift from place to place. Her blood is tainted by alcohol and something else. A sickness? You start drinking. The woman doesn't wake from her stupor. She lets out a deep sigh and starts snoring loudly. That's when you hear the footstep and turn around to see a figure in the shadow of the pavilion. A hooded man is looking menacingly at you. What do you think you're doing barging in on my turf like this, Lick? Didn't mean to trespass, I'm gone. Too late for that, Toreador. You want to live here in one piece, Utah? Candidly. I know what you are, so you can shove that masquerade misdirection up your ass. Now better tell me who you're with before my post shows up and we beat it out of you. Now let's not show our boss here. I'm with the Camarilla. Chill out, I'm with the Camarilla. He does anything but chill. He immediately tenses up, gives you an extremely nasty look, and bares his fangs. You with the ivory tower constant. Well. Tonight's my lucky night. I'ma fuck you up and bring you to Camarilla. You'll have some fun breaking your shins, and maybe by the end of it, I get to have a nice long sip. I wonder what you taste like, Lick. He does his impressions of Hannibal Lecter's in a nice chanty shriek, but he's not as intimidating as he thinks. Celerity. Run back to Sophie, fast. You take off, faster than you ever run. The hoodlum has trouble getting up, but how's behind you like an animal, gives chase anyway. As you reach it, you near first again. You slow down, noticing two people near the sculpture of a man and a woman tangle in passionate embrace. No, not exactly a selfie feeling, but the whole scene is set up so that it looks like a couple meeting, getting intimate in public. She pulls it off like she has done it 100 times before. It occurs to you that she probably has. The man is unsure on his feet and she lets go of him and leads him towards a nearby bench. Noticing you, she whispers something to his ear and leaves him. Her driver appears from behind a tree. Well, Sarah Kimmy, how did it go? Well, you are about to answer when the same figure as before emerges from one of the alleys. He looks at the three of you, and a predatory smile creeps onto his lips. You thought you could run away from me, Lick? Think you'll be safe with your friends? Well, I have friends too. He makes a motion to shout, but two things happen almost at the same time. First, that feeling of warm and beauty emanating from Sophie flares up again, entrancing you both during the hooded thought. His shout comes out as a weak, confused squeak. Second, Gregory produces a wooden stake from a holster on his jacket and slams it into the thug's chest. Just like that, in a few seconds, the posturing vampire is down the ground, paralyzed. I see you have made a friend, Sarah Kimmy. Curious choice of company, I would say. Who is he? He mentioned a Carligan. He said something about presenting me to somebody named Callan. Ever heard of him? She looked shocked for a split second, then recovers her regular countenance. Yes, I have. This hoodlum is Anarch, then curious. Corona Park has not been claimed by any current threat. Last I checked. Let's go to the car. We'll put him in the trunk and present him to Coteries tomorrow night. I'm sure he'll be delighted to make this unbound acquaintance. Gregory carries the stick. The vampire dumps him into the car's trunk like a mannequin. It's a strange sight. And you're quite happy you're not in that poor fucker's shoes right now. It's almost surprising that you can get away with just casually throwing a stick into your car and driving away. But then you remember that Sophie has been doing this far longer than you have. Still, the nagging thought that anything you did tonight could have been recorded on a CCTV camera or picked up by a rando with a half-decent smartphone and stream online fills you with dread. Hunting and using your ability is a dangerous business. It's clear that this whole being a vampire thing has about as many caveats as it has perks. You're taken out of your headspace by Sophie's voice. I'll pick you up tomorrow night, same as tonight. I have some business to attend to at this time, and I expect you to accompany me. Plus, our friend in the back needs to be properly introduced to Guardian the Prince. I'm sure he'll have something interesting to say to the court. Her voice is cold, cruel, and nothing like the enchanting personality she showed at the gallery earlier tonight. Sophie is clearly a woman of many faces. What's going to happen to him? The usual, I imagine. Interrogation by Coterie, probably in the basement of the gallery, a quick trial with a prince in attendance. If she's there tomorrow night, a swift execution as the verdict. This all sounds eerily familiar to you, and you can't help but feel a pang of guilt when you think about what awaits this guy tomorrow night. You haven't told me how your hunting went. Getting the hang of it, I would hope. It will take some getting used to. I think so, yeah. I think I am, yeah, I'll cope. I'm glad. She doesn't question you further. She seems distracted not all then. Her thoughts drift in the car, remain silent until you reach your apartment. We'll pick you up tomorrow evening. Good night. Just like that, without any further courtesy, Sophie leaves, driven to her apartment by Gregory with a body in the trunk, right in the middle of Manhattan. You've crossed paths with situations like this in the past. Unknowingly, what other secrets did you pass on the streets without knowing their true nature? Your haven is just as you left it hours ago. Although the sun won't come up for some time, you feel tired. You learned something about yourself today, and it will take time to process. You're not in the mood for television, and the few books on the shelves in the apartment are either in language you don't speak, or sound like a boring read. Nothing left to do but rest. You settle in the back room. Lock the door. A moment of hesitation, but then a decision. This time, you turn the light off. You think back to Joey. How many people in this city know about this vampire society? How many are willing accomplice is in sustaining it? And the thug you met in the park, if it's not Camarilla, then what is it? Are there independent vampires? How does that work? No questions. You begin wondering if there is ever going to be a night when you can start crossing them off the list instead of adding to it. You close your eyes. You sink into the now familiar void of nothingness. It grips you with open arms like an old friend. And there's nothing you can do. You open your eyes. It's pitch dark here. The blackness of a coffin drifting in the abyss. Alright, the light. You grasp for the switch, flip it. The familiar crime room with a steel door, no windows comes into view. You emerge from the bedroom fully awake, just like yesterday. This time, however, Sophie is waiting for you comfortably seated on the sofa in your living room space, a book in her hand. The Melancholy of Resistance. The title is shown brand. Good evening, Sarah Kim. Sorry to have kept you waiting. To be fair, I haven't been here long. I was enjoying reminiscing about the time when I called this my haven. The decor was much different, of course. Come, we have an appointment. I received word that Simon will be called again tonight. On account of your unruly friend from Corona Park, this should be a great opportunity for you to mingle. She keeps talking as you walk downstairs and get in the car. Gregory gives you a slight nod and a small smile while opening the door for Sophie. He starts the car when you take a seat in the back. Most of the Primogen Council is bound to be there, at least those who usually attend. Probably some other important personalities you would do well to at least learn about. How should I carry myself when inside? You never told me if there is any vampiric kind of rules I should respect when talking to other vampires. Knowing that you're among your superiors is probably the most important. In our society, status comes with age. Pardon my sincerity, but you are insignificant. Not even associating with me can make the fact that you have been kindred for very few nights be forgotten. So know your place. Stay out of your superior's business and show the utmost respect. Thanking the prince for sparing you, and maybe having a friendly charter party publicly might show your gratefulness for being a part of the Camarilla now. I would suggest you make it sincere. At any rate, you should behave yourself tonight. Remember what I told you about reflecting on me as your patron. I have a reputation to uphold in the court. Do not tarnish it. There it is. She might have saved you. She might be protecting and teaching you, but it's clear what she's really concerned about. Her own interests. You step into the art hall with something of a bad memory. The last time you were here, your entire world had been turned upside down, and your existence nearly ended. But tonight there is very little outward hostility. Yes, Cardia gives you a look that is definitely intended to remind you of your place. But the prince, also in attendance, seems pleased to see you. Welcome, Sophia, Sarah Kimia. Did I get that right? Good evening to both of you. I understand there's somebody else you wish to present to the court tonight. Yes, Prince. They'll be joining us shortly. My assistant is retrieving them presently. This better be worth the prince's time, blankly. The prince gives Carter a cold glance. Forgive the sheriff's harshness. It's in a particularly foul mood tonight. Something to do with Sarah Kimmy's begetting, eluding his grasp, I believe. Ouch. That must have hurt his ego, even if his only replies a crooked smile. The mention of your sire makes you come back to all the talk of executing societal norms and delusionment with the status quo. You enjoy back in the lab. Look at you now. Behave. Agreeable. She likely wouldn't be too happy with this whole setup. Prince, court, hierarchy, titles, but hey, she's gone. Probably forever. If you ever break out of this, it'll be on your own. The flaring up of whispers in the gallery hall breaks you out of your thoughts. Gregory enters the room, the jumpsuit clad in inert vampire steel, stake on his shoulder. The show's about to start. Sophie's driver places charge in the middle of the room and nods respectfully to Cardia. The sheriff approaches the young pirate and removes the stakes from his chest. The captive's eyes flicker to life and he starts looking around in disbelief. Like a cornered animal, he backs out on all fours, keeps going in circles until he realizes he's trapped. Cardia steps on the man's chest and pins him to the floor. Why? Who do we have here? Oh fuck, oh shit, no, come on, don't. Silence. The sheriff takes on an aura of utter dread. He appears as if he's a primal force of nature that's out to get you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do. A shrivel in terror. The beast inside you shrieks, and you could swear it happens in unison with the instinct of some of the other guests here tonight. It's unlike anything you have experienced in his company during your turbulent first night as a vampire. He really did go easy on you, all things considered. It seems like it takes all the hoodlum's willpower to not crawl into a fetal position and start crying. No, please don't hurt me, man, don't. You and me are going to have a little talk downstairs at the prince's discretion. Please go ahead, my sheriff. You heard the prince. Get up, let's go. He doesn't wait for confirmation. He just grabs the man and drags him, kicking and screaming out of the room. Conversations start all around you, some whisper, some quite overt. Sophie looks somewhat bored of the whole affair. Her eyes wandering from art pieces to art piece, clearly finding nothing to her particular liking. Torture in an art gallery. For how culture you all seem torturing someone in an art gallery doesn't seem to face you. Oh, please do keep your naivety to yourself. Power and violence have always been two sides of the same coin. Most of us here are far too old to bother with keeping up appearance. Excuse me. So he lifts your side and goes to a corner of the gallery where a group of kindred, some seemingly pretty old-fashioned, gather. A concierge offers you a drink still warm. It smells nice. Just a sip to start you up. A splash over your palate, coating your tongue and the inside your cheeks. Nourishment. You're left to your own device. You have a quick look around. The prince is currently talking to a dark-skinned woman that you recall seeing here some few nights ago. She has a cold but noble countenance to her. That conversation seems to be casual. A loud shrill laugh turns your attention to the best petticoat man who you saw with Sophia the night of your judgment. He's making the rounds, shutting up with different patrons. You feel somebody's eyes on you. A casually dressed, plain-looking man stands alone near a column watching you. He turns his gaze away sheepishly when he realizes you have noticed. Try to talk to the prince. Chat up. The man with the glass. Confront the man looking at you. There's something about this guy. It's not that he's staring at you. Most everybody in this room has, at one point or another. It's how he does this. He seems shy, maybe even afraid. It's hard to find a secluded spot in the gallery tonight, but this guy has an entire corner of the room all to himself. He's standing alone, no glass in hand, just a local boy as you approach. So, what's so interesting about me? Care to tell me what's so interesting about me that you have been looking at me since I came in? Sorry, didn't mean to pry. Just seeing how you're doing. You're still in one piece. That's good, I'm glad. The name's Larson. Or you can call me Robert. Either's fine. So, who are you? You mean like generally same as you, a vampire, though I might not quite look it. I'm one of Prince Paradise Primogen. I'm here on business in case the prince requires my insight. Usually so she can hear me out before she ignores me. Not sure if you were paying attention the other night when the prince mentioned diverging opinions on whether you should be executed or not. If that was me, I was the diverging opinion. What was your reasoning? Not that I'm ungrateful, but out of curiosity, what was your reasoning? My reasoning? Just common sense, that you shouldn't be blamed for being assault and essentially murder, to boot. Yet as Camarilla to say, the traditions are clear. Listen, I don't want to be rude, and I appreciate you reaching out, but what advice? Stay away from me. Many vampires in this sect regard my position as Primogen to be a kind of a joke, you know. You talk to me, they notice, and they hold it against you. You have a quick look behind you and see that a few of the kindred keep shooting you curious glance. One woman, especially a redhead boasting a fanciful hairstyle, watched you disapprovingly. Some of them already do, I imagine. Excuse me, I need to try to get a word in with a few Primogen members before Caddy returns. Enjoy your night. With just the critical looks of a few kindred to keep you company, you start thinking about who to pursue next. You notice Sophie mingling with other kindred, clearly in her element and not to be disturbed. Cardi hasn't come back yet, so you can probably still have time to find at least one more conversation. Chat up with the man with your glass. The man notices your attention, but it takes a few minutes before he passes me before actually approaching. He looks at you quizzically. Tomas Arturo. Pardon? It's my name. I assume you would like to know. I know you. My name was Sarah Kimie. Embraced just a few nights ago, huh? Well. How's that date treating you? I'm coping. It takes some getting used to, for sure. Oh, it sure does. Good thing we have an eternity to make the best out of it, right? It takes a moment to clean his glass, ignoring you completely until he's done and puts them back on. I'm sorry, I got a bit distracted. You know, most of us don't need to wear these, right? I can see just fine without them, but it's a statement. The damn things keep catching specks out, dressing out as a sort of shit still. Never stay clean for long. Sometimes I think it's more trouble than it's worth, what you say. If it's a pain, why wear them? So do you like it when things are clean? You like it when things are clean? Is that a thing for you? I don't think you understood what it meant, that glass. What do you say if they're dirty? Alright, that was a nice chat, but I have to catch up with a few other fellas tonight. Talk to you later. Ginny, hey Ginny. It doesn't even give you a chance to say goodbye. It's already off. Grabbing 2 glasses of a concierge tray and handing one to a mustachio man nearby. A lot has changed. Near the staircase, grab everybody's attention. Caught his bag, and the hoodlum is with him. Oh shit. The sheriff pushed his unfortunate victim inside the room. The vampire that threatened you last night's mess. That stupid head, still inescapably on his head, covered some of his ruined face in a welcome shadow. He's barely conscious. His shin is broken. You think something protruding there, making a bulge in the pan leg. One arm seems twisted at a strange angle. Very little blood, surprisingly, but clearly a whole lot of hurt. Well, quite dear. Did I guess cooperate? Tell the prince your name. It's Howard. And who do you run with, Howard? The Midnighters. An Anarch Coterie, my prince. Active for some time now. Though from what this one told me, the name is about the only legacy the group kept over the years. I see. Hey prince, I didn't know. A loud cry had some of the guests audibly gasped. Cadia slapped, dislocate the man's jaw. A spread blood creates something like an abstract art piece on the floor. This one is guilty of threatening a member of the Camarilla and claiming a domain without the prince's approval. That would be enough to pass swift judgment. But he's also Anarch scum, my prince. There can only one verdict: final death, do your duty, sheriff. Unless, of course, somebody would like to play at being a good Samaritan like our dear Miss Langley a few nights ago. The look the prince serves you and Sophie is a cruel jest. Sophie takes it gracefully, smiling, slipping her arm into close in the stream. Papa show of affection. Nobody says anything. The vampire named Howard jumps to his feet and makes for the window. Celerity. Grab Howard. In a split second, you make a choice. Focusing your blood, you dash forward and grab Howard by the back of his jumpsuit, pulling him away from the window. You expect some resistance, but find you don't have to worry about it when the swift cut separates Howard's head from his body. You let go, and the headless corpse slumps to the ground. Quadir is standing between you and the window, his words drawn and an ugly smile on his face. Well, Serakime, your eagerness is laudable, if unnecessary. That Howard fellow couldn't have hoped to escape his fate, not with Carter's expertise. However, I have made note of this show of loyalty on both your and your patrons' accounts. I would like to thank Mr. Langley for bringing this Anarch up to mine and Carter's attention. I assume all have found the verdict satisfactory. It's a rhetorical question and everybody here knows it. Then I consider tonight's meeting concluded. Good night to all of you. He steps out of the room, and you see that many of the guests motion to do the same. Sophie seems to be conversing with somebody, a serious-looking man in a trench coat, about what transpired. You'll probably have the time to strike up a conversation of your own too. Carter, I'll ask my is still here, but clearly getting ready to leave for one. Both Larson and Arturo seem to have stayed around too. One is still moping around, the other still chatting with the remaining attendants, as if nothing happened in the meantime. Talk to Quadir. The sheriff's mood seemed to have improved, so you decided there won't be a better shot at saying your piece. He is just sitting his word as you approach him. He noticed you just before his face turns from a melancholic frown to his regular predatory smirk. You seem to have caught him at a moment of reflection. What is it, Sarah came here? Is everything alright? Hey, are you okay? Did I catch you at a bad time? His lips are tight now. His face is a mask of professionalism and restraint. I have no idea what you're talking about. This is a night like any other. Still, I have to admit, I was surprised as a prince when you jumped on the occasion to stop that other from escaping. I was sure Valerie would have beat you to it. If there's nothing else, I'll be taking the lead. Can you tell me something about do you enjoy being sheriff? Tell me, do you enjoy this being a sheriff for Prince Panhead? Enjoyment has nothing to do with this, it's my duty. When Colin Bros asked me to fill the shoes of the sheriff and root out our enemies, I was glad to serve the same. When Helene became prince and asked that I keep doing this, I agreed, because I believe in the Camarilla, and I respect the fact that the needs of many outweigh the needs of the few. He picks up the sword and turns to the stairs. If more kindred understood that, my job would have been much duller. On that note, I wish you a good night, and watch yourself. You have messed up my batting average, so I'll be sure to keep a close eye on you. With that final threat, he leaves the gallery. It's right about when Sophie also ends her conversation and walk over to you. Interesting evening, wasn't it? Come, Gregory's waiting downstairs. She seems preoccupied with something, and not in a talkative mood. It's an awkward ride back to the city. This time you arrive at another building, just 2 streets across from your apartments. She brings you upstairs through a very nice lobby and luxurious looking hall into her domain. Please have a seat. I shall be right with you. You take in the surroundings. The apartment is like a gallery, an old school smoking room that you have seen in some periods pieced together, and a Nouveau rich living room meticulously put together. Apologies. Old habits die hard. Clearly some stick with you even after you're dead. She drags on the cigarette. Where is that? Rags. How's she doing that? Can you do that? Oh yes, you might not know. It takes some practice, but you can keep smoking if you like other things to experiment. You might surprise yourself. But I did not brought you here to show off. This is where I rest these nights. That door in the back, the bedroom, similar to yours. I have servants and bodyguards in addition, of course. I brought you here because I need you to trust me. When I told you before that I needed your best behavior to uphold my good standing with the court, I meant it. But that's not the whole story. I have your interest in mind too. That's why I have given you your own haven. I'm trying to teach you how to navigate this new reality. But you need to trust me or else this won't work out. You can come here whenever you feel like asking me something. When you're in trouble too, though I hope that won't happen often. I would ask you to come here when you wake up tomorrow. I'll have something to discuss with you. Okay, I'll be here. I'll come over first thing tomorrow then. I appreciate that. That silence, okay, there's definitely something on Sophie's mind tonight, but she doesn't seem to share it with you just yet. I'm leaving for another visit. Come downstairs with me. We'll give you a lift. A quick trip, some polite goodbyes, and I promise that you'll show up tomorrow later. You open the door to your haven and gather your thoughts. It's exciting in a way, being dragged deeper and deeper into this secret society and its rules. Whatever Sophie has planned for you is bound to teach you more about this thing you have become. And sink into your vampire sleep with just a sliver of hope is a welcome change. Once more, darkness falls upon the city. You wake up, same as you have these past few nights, in a windowless room. As you pry open the reinforced steel door, you look out the window to see, invariably, a sky bereft of sunlight. And then it hits you, the hunger. For a moment, you let yourself wonder if there will ever come a night when it's just not there. Given what you have learned thus far, you probably have as much chance of starting your heart with jumper cables. You lock the apartment behind you and head over to Sophie's apartment. You did promise to call on her. Might as well not keep the lady waiting. And hey, what else are you gonna do? Call Jess? Yeah, right. What would you tell her? If she even pick up at all, she'll probably use the opportunity to stick some more needles in, or worse, persuade you to come back. Or go back to work? Yeah, who are we kidding? HR probably found a replacement the day after you went missing. Nobody there cares if you got kidnapped or turned into a creature of the night. These thoughts put you in a weird mood. It's a strange sensation to walk the crowded streets, same as you have so many times before, but feeling so disconnected. All these people, you're not one of them. Not anymore. You are a vampire. Kindred. And you need to carve your own part in this strange new existence, one way or another. Appropriately enough, you arrive at Sophie's building just as that thought crossed your mind. A quick word with the security guard and you're led into the elevator. Apparently, Miss Langley is expecting you. Of course she is. You knock and wait patiently as the footstep on the other side grows closer. Finally, the door opens and Gregory, Sophie's driver, invites you in. You find the lady herself standing by the window, silhouette against the city midnight glow. She stares up, motionless, like a marble statue. Everything alright? Is everything alright? She doesn't react immediately, but seems to snap out of some meditative state and looks at you with strangely blurry eyes. Yes, it is. How kind of you to ask. Tell me. When you look out at the city, when you see the lights, hear the hum, smell the rain on the pavement, what do you think about? You gaze out. The lights and rain, the relentless honking below, music blasting from a nearby window echoing off of buildings. Someone should record an hour of this and throw it up on YouTube as an ambient piece. Other than that though, it's business as usual. The sights, the sounds, the smells, you know them all too well. Sophie watched you. You can tell she's disappointed somehow, but she covers it up with a cautious smile. But not everyone can appreciate the intricacies that the world offers. In fact, among kindred, my clan is somewhat notorious for finding innate meaning even in the mundane. You see, the blood that flows within me is that of clan Toreador. There are 13 such bloodlines among us kindred, though that number has been contested in the past. In these nights, it seems that nothing is certain anymore. The clans have gone by many epithets over the years, but the names used these nights might have their roots in medieval times, the original Inquisition, if you can believe it. They used these to categorize us, describe our inherent difference. In time, we adopted them ourselves. Each clan has a uniqueness about it, inescapable, originating from an ancient progenitor carried from sire to child. For the Toreador, the gift lies in a sensitivity of sorts. We are uniquely attuned to beauty and ugliness both. You can see either when most cannot. A blessing on most nights, occasionally a curse. The sheriff is of my clan as well, although you'd be hard-pressed with him as such. Poor Cardi. It breaks my heart to see him in this state. Still, there is a beauty to it as well. Nothing like a good fall from grace. Try as she might to act playful, you can tell she genuinely cares. She lets her gaze wander for a brief moment, but is quick to regain her composure. Then there are the Ventrue, known for their pride in a proclivity to rule over others. The prince represents that clan, as is quite common in our society around the globe. Where the blue blood thinks themselves rulers, the Brujah like to see themselves as preeminent revolutionaries. They call for universal rebellion, while being slaves to their own temper. We don't discuss the rabble much anymore, not after they have largely broken Camarilla to think they were philosophers once long ago. I hope to tell you more about some of the other bloodlines tonight. How can I tell Kindred's clan? Say, I meet a vampire for the first time. How can I tell what their clan is? Usually you cannot, with a few exceptions perhaps. For some clans, the uniqueness I mentioned leads into their appearance and disposition, but even that can be misleading. Outside of a very few specific cases, knowing one's clan is less important than understanding who they are personally. What drives them, their wants and needs, weaknesses too. Speaking of which, we come to the reason I wanted to speak to you tonight. It is customary in our society, especially among younger kindred, to organize into coteries. Sometimes these are called by the prince himself or mandated by a fledgling sire. In our case, you may treat it as more of a strong recommendation. I want you to seek out a companion, not only because you need to learn more about our society, but also because it is useful. True friendship are rare among kindred, but having allies, even temporary one, is something of a necessity these days. We might be selfish creatures, but we are drawn to each other nonetheless. Where should I look for allies? Any suggestions on where I should start looking? I was just about to get to that. She puts on a mysterious smile. I spent some of my precious time last night asking around, pondering potential kindred for you to meet. Came up with a short list of contacts. I hope you appreciate the gesture. Forging a partnership with them might offer perspectives and viewpoints that I cannot provide. Lens through which to view our kind. They're all members of the Camarilla, of course, more or less. Okay, who are they? Who's on the list? Eager to learn about them, see? I see, good, I'm glad. So, let us start with the Camarilla, their powerful clan. Disliked by many, but feared and respected by many more. They have been an important pillar of the Camarilla since the very beginning. They are blood sorcerers. You look at Sophie with a hint of disbelief. Blood sorcerers? Pretty sure Mark from QA used to brag about having a level 70 blood sorcerer. Somehow, you don't think he meant magical vampires. Sophie snickers. Oh child, don't be caught with that look on your face when you meet a warlock in person. They really are adept at using vitae, their own as well as others, to unique and potent effects, since they're quite rigid in their hierarchy. The kindred I had in mind for you might need some persuading. His name is Agathon. From what I hear, he's quite a scholar, very ambitious. The child but noted Camarilla here in New York. Isling Sturbridge. Spending that time with Agathon, and I'm sure you'll run into her sooner or later. Blood magic? Intriguing. This whole blood magic thing sounds intriguing. Oh yes, fascinating. It's also a well-kept secret of the Camarilla. Don't expect them to share it right away. Some things have to be earned. Anyway, if you wish to contact the young Camarilla, I hear you can usually find him in a New Age bookstore out on Broadway. The Camarilla have one of their workshop there. Gregory will give you the details. Now, this next recommendation comes with a bit of caveat. As you recall me saying, most bloodlines have unique features that might not be obvious at first glance. Well, there's one clan whose members wear their curse on their sleeve.